Hey everyone, I'm Rambo Az, and I'm your co-commissioner for the Firetail League. Let me take this time to explain what we have in store.
We have 6 teams comprised of 36 AUNZ players, all competing for a $1,000 prize pool. The regular season will run over 5 weeks in a round-robin format. Each team will play each other only once, which means you've got to make the most of every match. At the conclusion of the round-robin, second and third will face off for the right to challenge first in the grand final. This is where the best of the best will take each other on to finally determine the winner of the inaugural Firetail League. Each match begins with a turf war. Win that, and your team chooses the first game mode for set 1. The match consists of 3 sets of 3 games. The winner will be the team that wins 2 sets, but regardless of when that happens, all 9 will be played out. This means every game is super important if you want to make it to the finals. Each week, the top players will be voted on by the viewers, the winners taking home some Asus ROG swag. Voters have the chance to win an Asus ROG Go wireless headset with USB connection, perfect for the Switch.
And hello and welcome to the next match for Firetail events. We have New Zealand versus Melbourne.
Yes, so Melbourne here with a massive opportunity to be the only team with 2 wins after the first 2 rounds. So we've seen the script flipped for the last 2 matches.
Yep.
So now all 4 of those teams have a win each. Let's see if we see the same thing happen today, or if Melbourne can secure that first place on the leaderboard.
Right. So New Zealand has a very interesting lineup change. They didn't play Slook, who arguably is their best player, their most confident player.
Yeah.
He wasn't playing last week.
Yeah, and the other thing with Slook is his ability to direct everyone else is going to be huge. So all those other players who maybe don't have as much big game experience, Slook's going to tell you what to do. You listen to him and you should be fine.
All right, no, that sounds great. We'll go into our node matchup and have a look at these guys' stats. Instantly, the big thing that comes out of here is check out that kill differential.
Yeah, insane. And we talked about it in our last match, that the Melbourne versus Sydney was just like a slugfest. They all went out trying to hunt each other down. Maybe it was because it was the first match of the whole league. I don't know, but they were at each other's throats. So, yeah, the other thing is the assists that are coming out from Melbourne as well. New Zealand, though, getting the specials. So that might be, just the different paces of the games that were played last week. So we'll see if Melbourne try and sort of speed up the pace of the game and get New Zealand to play at that pace, or if New Zealand can hold back and play at a more controlled pace that might suit them a little bit better.
Yes, right. Now, I still think the fact that their deaths are lower, their specials are higher, I still think this controlled New Zealand, the opposite of Rush, the New Zealand Control, that would have been a cool name for a team, right? Yeah, so I think that if they keep MGJ, they keep Slook, just so that the team can find their bearings. I don't doubt we saw Griffin come out, did an amazing job last time, and there are some other players who skip my mind now. Matthew and...
If we jump to the matchup screen, we can run through the team list there.
Right.
So New Zealand with Kaz, Griffin, Matthew, MGJ, Ray 13, the Ray we haven't seen this week so far.
Yes.
And then Slook, who we've spoken about. Melbourne going in with Silaris, Goizord, Lobster, Loose Goose, Pit Viper, and their superstar Shockwave. Shockwave coming out with the highest KA of any player last week, really set the tone of the league,
right,
showing what those big game players need to do to be able to propel their team into wins.
Yes. Yes. Now, we didn't see much or any of Silaris from Melbourne last week, and I think that we might see a repeating schedule. We can't see her in VC there, but I have been informed it is her birthday.
It is. Happy birthday.
I hope she's having a blast.
Oh, I see what you did there. So maybe celebrating with the family, a few bits of cake, a present, a candle, a balloon.
Yeah, a balloon.
Yeah,
Yep,
maybe
yep.
just one solitary balloon. But yes, happy birthday to Sileris. Hopefully we see them play in the future weeks and get the game count up. But still a very capable team.
Hey guys, just going forward, we know we have a very high quality stream going on here, and some people with slower connections. Unfortunately, Twitch hasn't given us chances to make it a variable connection right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lower the bit rate, keep the stream running, and then we'll see if we can get everyone making sure that they're watching the stream at as high quality as they can with the connections that are around. So.
And so I think with this matchup, we're going to see a lot more backline, midline being the key here. We've got Slook and MGJ, both very good players for New Zealand, who are going to be controlling the backline and midline areas. And obviously you got Shockwave and even Pit Viper and Goizel and Sileris, those kinds of players who operate really nicely in that mid-range area. Mm-hmm. So,
I really think this is going to be the battle of the midlines, because Melbourne hasn't changed. They haven't tried to fit a rush comp. They've unapologetically gone for what they do.
Yeah.
Right? And it's worked for them. They played their strengths and they beat Sydney.
Yeah. And the other thing New Zealand have is Kaz, the NZAP main, who put out a league high 40 specials.
40 specials coming out from Kaz. Very good job.
So that kind of support play is what they need. I'd like to see Matthew play today. Didn't see him last week, so that might give New Zealand a bit more of that slaying potential that they need to secure strong pushes.
Right, and then Loose Goose topping the league with a 25 KA in one match. He was throwing down the gauntlet.
It wasn't just one match though. It was game 9 to win the whole match. When
it mattered, right. Yes. No, well done, Loose Goose. And he's throwing down the challenge to everyone else in the league to match his 25 KA in one, or go down forever with his own award that he's given himself as the as the Loose Goose Slayer.
All right, so we are getting ready. Got the lobby music coming through.
Right, yeah. Everyone seems to be waiting for us. We wanted to deliver a great breakdown for you guys. We hope we've done that. We're getting into our first turf war match now. Which is it for me? What are we going for?
We stay the same.
Okay, so
our favorite.
It is Sweet Tentacle Valley.
Sweet Valley Tentacles.
Tentacles. Valley.
Let's just try and pick out some nice team colours here. So we go with the sweater versus socks.
Sweater versus socks. Yep, that looks, that Melbourne Maelstrom socks coming out, and when it's cold you rush to put on a sweater, so we're good.
Okay. We are ready to get going.
Sai, you obviously weren't on the stream earlier when I did wish you a happy birthday. We'd never start a stream without saying happy birthday to you. And also Sileris's mum. More importantly than our players, it's the people who made our players. Sileris's mum.
Reaching the half century today, I believe.
Really? Congratulations, that is an absolute honour. Yeah, raise the bat. That's great. We've got to get behind the people who let our players play. It wasn't free to join, so it's great that everyone is supporting us. Let us get into the first match of this set here. This is going to be an absolute banger.
Yes, turf war, very important, obviously.
Right.
We saw that in the first match we had today. So we got Pit Viper, Shockwave, Goy, and Lobster for Melbourne, and MGJ, Kaz, Matthew, and Slook for New Zealand.
Now that is a very front range comp coming out of NZ, and even Shockwave has moved back to the Explosher, hoping just to stay high. And I know he's just as lethal with that as he is with his Nautilus, but it means that other players can get close to him and shut him down.
Yeah, Lobster here having a battle, managed to pick up Matt.
Oh, but look at the way Lobster plays it, so smart. A few hits, backs off. A few hits, backs off. Never gets himself into any bad situation, which is what you want from your support, right?
That's definitely right. As Melbourne Maelstrom start attacking that next tentacle, trying to open these gates.
Now, it definitely looks like a Sox kind of matchup here.
Yeah, it looks like Christmas, doesn't it?
It does. I really like it.
So Shock controlling the middle of the map here with this Explosher. First bomb rush comes out from Slook.
All three burst bombs just directly land on Shock's face. It's not what he wanted.
And it's fun to see Slook playing something a bit shorter range.
Yeah.
As he abuses this tentacle, opening gate 3. And we've got a wide open map now as we take a look. And New Zealand...
Slook being taken out down now, but a lot of Maelstrom on the map.
Lobster sharking through the middle and trying to paint up. It's still a bit of a stalemate. People, as we know, waiting for that last 30 seconds to secure the picks and take the win, but you still need to look after your map in the meantime. Don't want to die in Turf War. That's the biggest part of this game.
It is the biggest thing.
That's why Az and I aren't good at Turf War. See Goy and Shock there teaming up to get a splat and down to the last minute.
Now I know Melbourne like to switch out their mid lines between Goy and Silaris. So if we're seeing Goy here, it looks like we won't see much of Silaris, but maybe she'll make an appearance later in this set. I really want to see how this long range blaster, the range blaster works inside our league. Oh, Goy getting triple teamed at the beginning. This is the final 30 seconds. You don't want to jump into nothing like that.
New Zealand really taking control here. 3 down on Melbourne. Looking like they might take out Turf War if they can just hang on to this last 20 seconds.
Yeah, wow. Ness taking out Goy as well, looking after himself up the top there. Shockwave getting in the middle, in the midst of it all, and just wanting to direct people. The armor coming out not
quick
fast enough. It looks like it could be a Melbourne Shock. Painting as much as he can, and are they going to pick... Oh!
I don't know if they had quite enough time there, or it's
definitely
probably going to go to New Zealand here.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, we see the 56 to 38%, so...
Okay. Size jumping in next week, so we'll see Goy in this week.
Slook.
Look at those paint numbers.
Yeah, Slook and Ness leading the way there for
it was all 2K.
New Zealand. And so New Zealand will be selecting the first mode for this set play format.
Mm-hmm.
So we got 3 sets of 3 games. The Turf War winners symbol there goes up on the New Zealand Rush side.
Knowing that they picked the first mode and will pick, depending on what happens, that is up to who the loser is.
It is.
Really?
Yeah, you're right. So the winner of Turf War picks the first set, and then the loser of that set will then pick the mode for the next set. So we're going to just wait a little bit here for the mode, and then we'll also get into the banning and picking of the first map. So yeah, a good start from New Zealand Rush, showing their intent here today. I think the addition of Slook's really going to benefit them, that leadership.
And it'll be interesting to see, as a backliner, Slook was able to provide support, but as a frontline, we'll definitely see if he can do the same thing, can call the shots from back there.
Tower control.
All right, we have our first pick. We are looking like we are playing some tower control. That is awesome.
Yeah, and
didn't get to see any of that last match.
we didn't, and New Zealand also picked tower control first last week, so maybe they're feeling like that's one of the modes that suits them.
Right, great.
Definitely with backlines like Slook, who can sit on the tower, and Pepper away at the Melbourne team, that might be not a bad choice. They actually won that set as well last week, so that was their only set win. So tower control is what we're going to see here first up.
All right, guys, as we get the next map, I want to give a call out. We're sitting at 110 viewers right now. Thank you for everyone who's streaming in. Now, this is our North American time slot, and it's getting a little bit later, but I know that there are some late night squids out there still looking to watch some quality Splatoon. So if you have a chance to give us a follow, or maybe retweet us or tweet something about the hashtag Firetail League, give them a link to this Twitch and get them involved, because while the Australians are all up and ready to watch, we want to really expand and get everyone looking at the AU scene, and so we've put on a hell of a show, and we'd love your support there.
Absolutely, and we've had some bans come through, so Shockwave banning Arawana Mall, so that's Melbourne banning that one, and New Zealand banning Mako Mart.
All right, which is a map that they played last week and they actually won.
They did, so it's an interesting choice there. And we hear some subs going through, but we're going to be playing tower control on Anchovy Games to get us underway.
All right, first match. Tower control on Anchovy is two-tiered. Really, you've got the middle ground where everyone will fight, and as soon as you push it up to the arcade, you then have to follow the tower up, and you get these little awkward spots where you can't quite jump on the tower because the tower's too high. So each push has to be real definite when you get up there.
That's right. And our jokes are so good that even the maps are in tears.
Very, very good. I just saw Epic Pikachu hailing from North America. All the North Americans in chat, just give us a holler. We want to see you all here. Thank you so much for dropping by. It is awesome to see you. I know we've got a few advocates for us over in America. Milana, the Barry, they were all with us last night. They were way too late. I think it was a 4 a.m. for them.
Yeah, crazy.
I don't know what they were doing up, but it was really good to see them in there. As I'm sure you've heard in the background music, the lobby has crashed, and we are restarting it.
Look, we don't want to blame anyone, but that one was my fault.
So, the Checkers is terrible at running lobbies.
Just a slight issue there. We'll get underway shortly. Turns out you have to select the map that you want to play on. So we just wait for our players to join back in.
Oh, the real reason why Solaris isn't playing is being rolled out on chat. She is in a helicopter flying over to New Zealand to unplug their Wi-Fi and undock all their switches. That's a bold move coming out from Melbourne.
It's a bold move. Let's see if it pays off. No, I'm sure we'll see Solaris come in next week and onwards to meet those minimum games requirements. But
right,
yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what dynamic that throws up for Melbourne.
Mm. Right, we've never really seen Melbourne as being a turf-heavy comp. So I don't think the blaster really adds or removes anything from that. I just think the positioning in certain maps are going to be completely exposed by what the long range or what the range blaster brings into the team.
Yeah, players like Lobster and even Pit Viper become very important for Melbourne to secure that turf for the other players, especially your Solarises and Loose Gooses of the world who need that mobility.
A bit of turf on the flower for shower.
Oh, shower.
Cool, everyone's readied up. And we're getting into our first match of Melbourne Maelstrom versus the New Zealand Rush. It is a tower control. I don't know which way this is going to go. Checkers, who do you predict is going to win?
Oof.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
It's a
taking
toughie.
New Zealand
Okay.
for the whole match. I think the addition of Slook is what they really needed. So that's my bold prediction. How are you feeling about this one?
Look, I think Melbourne's going to come out strong. I think they already have the everything underway for them. I think the synergy's already together. They know how each other play, and this is the first time seeing Slook come in. So I reckon give it a game or two, and then we might see NZ come back in.
Now we see Kaz trying to add to that special count, already getting an armor off under 18 seconds, I think it was.
Slook coming out with his ballpoint as well. Pitt, I know Pitt is a very, very strong ballpoint, right?
Yeah, underrated ballpoint for sure.
Yes, but he has some self-doubt in his abilities, because when he switches on and when he just stops thinking about it, he plays the best he can. He's up there with the best.
Absolutely.
But he can't let that mind game happen of seeing a household name like Shock or Slook or MGJ, waver his ability. So we're seeing a big push come out from Melbourne here.
And I think the thing about a strong backline like Slook is you're less likely to lose. It might not necessarily make you win,
Right.
but you're less likely to lose.
Yes, it's more forgiving in some of the... but in some
Goy
of
gets a nice pick there.
his Goy is so green. He must have been so weak by the end of that. I thought it was a 5v4.
And they've really secured this plat here, so the tower's going to stroll through.
Yep.
Another pick there, so New Zealand want to make sure they're not feeding out here.
Approaching the checkpoint again, 3 in front. Pitt has no chance of being flanked from any direction. This is really dominative from Melbourne. It's a great first push.
Pitt getting it to the checkpoint, but just jumping off to try and preserve his life.
Someone needs to deal with Slick up
Shockwave
in that back
supporting
corner. Rain coming out over the tower as well. That's going to push people back. Looks like the end of their push. Lobster overextending a push that was already dead. Hopefully that doesn't come back to bite them in the butt.
Yes, so New Zealand in their nice green colour is pushing back to mid, taking control. Ness pops his armour, and we'll see if they can secure some picks. That's really their biggest challenge, I think, with the lineup they have, is who's getting that first pick to start the push. And I wonder if we'll, throughout the tournament, ever see Ness pick up like a K-Pro, do something similar to what Gio was trying to do with the quicker kill time. He's very successful on that 96 scale though.
2 down coming out from Melbourne. This looks like the beginning of the push coming out from New Zealand. Let's see what they've got. Really, if we look at their specials, we're going to have to see some armour probably to start it off. There it comes out.
Yeah,
they're running double armour.
Yep, they are. And missiles and rain. So they've got the tools they need for tower control.
Kaz about to get another armour. Can he get it off at the right time? I think MGJ's was a little bit early. There wasn't much threat. Or maybe it did push them back. Maybe Melbourne realised that they didn't need to engage. Kaz dropping down to a lobster bomb coming up from the top. Pit Viper's a little bit out of position
He's
here.
last up. It's a white. New Zealand going to take the lead here.
What a beautiful counter push. What composure from New Zealand to get taken to 20 and come back for a knockout.
Yeah. Can they secure that knockout? Slook riding that tower to victory.
Beautiful.
New Zealand coming out of the blocks. Russian out of the blocks.
Russian out of the blocks. I love that straight away they got hit with 20 from the Melbourne Maelstrom. It was a great push. The kills aren't massive here between the two. The kill differential isn't massive.
No, but you see Ness getting that 11 KA, the armor, and just his insane aim with that 96 scale, which you can't aim.
No, he cheats.
Yeah,
we've allowed it by now. He is so good at that weapon. He abuses the first shot, perfect aim.
Yep.
And then some of his second and third shots, they still manage to hit as well. So It's not what I expected from the Rush. I thought they'd need a bit more time to form together. I didn't know half a game was enough time.
Yeah, well, I mean, after losing last week, and they started well last week, but then Perth hit them with, I think, 5 wins in a row or something crazy like that. So, I mean, they just need to continue this momentum they've gained in this first game and hold on and try and win a couple of sets this time and get the match win.
That's right. I can't stop reading that chat. Pit merch, when I would buy Pit Viper merchandise.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think about what would be a good tagline.
Good slogan.
What slogan would you have? Just the pit? Is that too much?
Not the pits.
Not the pits? Not the pits? Yeah.
Don't know. In the meantime, people are picking maps and...
We're trying to make slogans for Pit Viper's inevitable fashion debut, where he launches his new line of merch.
So we're moving on to Sturgeon Shipyard Tower Control.
Oh, right. Sturgeon.
The Rush obviously on set point here.
Yep. And now did Rush get a set last game?
They did. They took the first set of tower control. So
okay, all right. So this is expected for them. Maelstrom obviously being a much, I wouldn't even say high tier team. They were versing Brisbane Boom, weren't they? No, they were
Perth Fury.
Perth Fury, yes, who dominated in the Rainmaker segment, and yes, they couldn't kind of collaborate after that. That's right.
Yeah, they won the first 2 games of tower control last week, and then it was 5 in a row. Went to Perth. They came back with a win in Clan Blitz, but then just couldn't secure it in the game 9.
Yeah.
So they were very close to picking up a match win last week, and they'll be trying to reverse their fortunes this week.
Yeah, okay. I keep thinking of Melbourne Maelstrom being a higher tier team and Rush not being a higher tier team, just from the early predictions of what everyone was talking about.
Man, we just don't know at this stage. Anything anyone predicts gets kicked right out the window. It's insane.
And I'm loving the composure from New Zealand. The way that I didn't get to finish my thought. They got pushed down to 20, and they said they didn't let their resolve waver, and then they pushed and got a knockout. That's incredible.
We start every game with a Kaz armor about to come out here. There
Boom.
it is.
That took 16 seconds.
Yeah, and they've secured
best.
a pick as well, so let's see if...
Gets a few shots.
Shockwave.
Shockwave out on his Nautilus. This is where we watch Shock explode. Was Shock on... What was he on last map?
NZAP. So he
NZAP.
switched across to Nautilus trying to get more kills here, and they went 3 down, New Zealand, so...
Jump coming in from Ray. Safe jump. MDJ has dropped down. It's a 4v3. This should be the beginning of Melbourne's push. No one's on the tower yet. Goy looks like he's sitting up on the try up there, the spinner. And Shock takes out another person and manages to take out Ray as well. So that's 2 kills from Shock as Pitt stays on the tower and is left or has to chase away from...
And they couldn't make it through that checkpoint, which might come back to bite them. They're going to have to go through the penalty on that.
Even with the dominative performance from Shockwave, there still wasn't enough pressure around their tower.
Correct.
To keep that push going, which I think is really important to point out.
And we heard on Tuesday with FLC that Shock's really looking to use those flanks to his advantage, but in tower control maybe doesn't quite work the same way. Because if they lost the pressure on that tower and it got pushed straight back by Ness.
Yeah. Or if he does get those picks, they've got to be capitalised on.
Definitely.
Or Goy getting a lot of individual chips, but no directs and no kills right now. But he is already sitting on 7-0. Is that 0 specials?
Yeah.
0 specials. So he's topping his team for 7 kills at the moment. Yeah. There we go. Here comes the Splat Bomb Rush. Hopefully they can get chipped through this
Lobster on the tower is a dancer. He is a river dancer on top of that.
Lord of the dance. But they make it through that checkpoint, which is very important. Even though the tower's heading back to mid now, a shot gets taken out by Ray. Breaking those checkpoints key to scoring more and more points. And they're pretty in control of this maps at the moment. But we saw New Zealand absorb a lot of pressure last game and come back and knock it out. So we'll see if they can do it again.
Yeah, are you saying that Melbourne have or New Zealand are holding a lot at the moment?
Melbourne are controlling the map and the game here, but New Zealand are going away.
Drop roll coming out from Shockwave, still surprising everyone when he lands. All 3 on him. Shock has to find a way to get out of here safely. Trying to use under. No, being chased by Slook. We got a 1-on-1 of the heavies. The 2v1 that is so important that they did not leave that to a 1v1 chance.
Correct, and Goy just sloshing over that edge, causing some damage. Kaz takes him out, but goes down themselves. Slook trying to pressure so Ness can ride this tower. They're going to get through checkpoint and could take the lead.
Burnt through the checkpoint. Another armor comes out. A jump coming back into tower as well. Slook has managed to position himself on the right-hand grate. Ray gets a pick. 2 down from Melbourne, 1 down for New Zealand.
How do you survive that?
3 down from Melbourne. Only Pitt up at the moment. Pitt can only hold back so much and being pressured by Slook, taken out.
Slook doing a really good job of getting forward of the tower.
This is a great push coming out from New Zealand.
Shock sitting there on the left. Might be able to stop this. The armor pushes them off the tower. Nest back on.
4, 3.
Down to 3. We can't see.
All we see is rain. And it's enough. Shock manages to stop the push at 3, which is an incredible push. That is a game-winning push. The Melbourne have to respond to this.
Yeah, and they've only got 40 seconds to do it. Incredible work again by New Zealand. Seeing Shockwave take the spinner here. Trying to control the court of New Zealand.
Oh, there was just 3 people looking at Shock. He wants to be aggressive, but the Nautilus can't be that aggressive.
No, maybe these longer range weapons of New Zealand causing him a few more issues than Sydney last week.
Well, you definitely have probably one of the most proficient ball points in our league.
Oh yeah.
Probably AUNZ, right?
Slook is incredibly capable of the ball point.
Takes out Shockwave for the final push, gets a few taps, and that's all we wrote, all they wrote, all she wrote, all everyone wrote. NZ taking that first
set
is completely theirs. Let's have a look at these. The finishing stats. I wonder. Ness. MGJ and Slook. Ness and Slook are just turning up here. And it's great to see. It's what we want to see from their X-ranked players from New Zealand.
Absolutely. I mean, Again, it was just like Melbourne throws the first punch. The Rush absorb that and then just slowly get ascendancy in the game. And 2 amazing tower control pushes in those 2 games. See them take out the first set. So Melbourne need to sort of work out what they're going to do here. We saw in the game earlier this morning that Adelaide managed to win. Even though they lost the first set, they managed to win the last game, and that sort of looked like it helped them with their momentum for the next set. See if Melbourne can do something similar. But yeah, really impressive start from the Rush here.
Yes, yeah. I don't know what Melbourne needs to do to beat Rush here. It seems that they're structured for that first push, and then they just run out of steam. I'm imagining New Zealand Rush being Homer as a boxer, and all of his Melbourne being one of the opponents to just like punch into him, lay into him, and then just collapses because they've just run out of steam. And the New Zealand Homer is just ready. He's just.
So we're seeing a sub here with Matthew coming back in, and I think it was Kaz taking the step out.
With our final match, 4 tower control in this first set being Inkblot Art Academy.
a much shorter range map. Sturgeon was pretty short, but this is possibly the shortest tower control that we have in our rotation. Really, all it requires is the Slayers to get up on their platform and lock them out, and that can be done with one successful push.
Yeah, and that's probably what potentially Shockwave's thinking. If he can get up onto that plat, he can cause a bit of problem. But the plats do give Slook a nice high ground.
Agreed.
And you know what happens when you have the high ground. It's very advantageous for Slook. And even Pit Viper going the other way.
The Grand Jedi Slook.
Yes.
Actually, he would be Qui-Gon in this with the green lightsaber, right? And does that mean that the Melbourne Maelstrom is Darth Maul with the
red,
with a double-sided lightsaber, red lightsaber? Who knows?
We don't know.
We are here to watch some Splatoon, not Aaron rant about Star Wars. Rambo. Gotta hide my identity. No one knows my name is Aaron.
Here we go.
We have Melbourne coming out as the green and Rush coming out as the purple.
That's not confusing at all.
Not at all.
So New Zealand just taking control of mid here.
What do we need to see from Melbourne to make this happen?
Look, I don't know. I think they're a bit of a loss here.
Two have already dropped. They're already at their first checkpoint clearing.
Yeah, they might just be surrendering this tower control and ready to move on to the next mode.
It's not a good idea because every game counts. Every game counts.
A wise man sent that one.
Yeah, it was me. It was definitely Goy getting a triple, stopping that push. Goy is stepping up. Look, he is getting as many kills as Shock with maybe a slightly less aggressive weapon, coming out with the Splat Bomb Rush.
Yeah,
point sensor? I think so.
Who knows?
Yeah, judging by the little points going off, yeah. And maybe it's acting as a beacon for Shockwave to get some inkjets on.
Yeah. As Ray tries to stop this tower, but the Booyah comes out from Pit Viper. Oh, and New Zealand swarming that tower now.
Goy being taken down, 2 dropping down, 3 dropping down from Melbourne. Only an NZAP left. Is that a Kaz on that NZAP?
No,
the other team.
That'd be Lobster.
Lob.
So Kaz taking the sub out for Matthew.
Here we go, Slook.
Oh,
Using the armor to push through. The thing with ballpoints is you can't pop out like that and expect to get the kill, but he had armor, so he knew that he could get a trade at least.
yeah, and they went eye to eye there.
They did. Shockwave being taken out by Math, keeping this push consistent for the NZ at least, keeping it in their half.
Yeah, I mean, they've got the score to 51. Probably not a winning score at this stage, but they're starting to take control of this plat, which is key as they hit the next checkpoint. Lobster coming in from behind. All gets taken out. The Booyah pushes them off the tower.
MGJ manages to escape that and hops back on the tower past checkpoint 2. Now Pitt is trying to take out the MGJ, who manages to do it and stop that push there.
Oh, nice pick from Shockwave on the inkjet. I thought he might have been slightly out of position all the way down there, but turns out I'm wrong.
Coming with a few clutch kills. If he missed a bunch of those shots, he definitely would have been out of position. When he landed, he had nothing to contribute to that fight. It was a risky move, but I think Melbourne need to provide a bit of risk if they're going to come back and win.
Yeah. And maybe we're seeing a little bit of that Adelaide-style team working together. Although they get taken out here, but New Zealand really were bunched up there.
I'm feeling every kill that comes out of here. There just seems to be... The kills are so definite that with like multiple people attacking them every time, it seems like a swarm. Pit Viper staying on that, getting this counter push starting. They're looking at 55 here, 2 people on Pit. After they successfully took out Shock, Pit needs a bit of backup. Shockwave, no, sorry, not Shock. I think it was Goy on the other side there.
Shock's done a good job of holding on to this push here for them.
Yeah.
If he'd gone down, that would have been all over. But
getting 3 people in around that uninkable. They need to take out Math up in this top left-hand corner. The Inkjet getting no kills, and all 4 Melbourneites are real close to this tower.
And they go 2 down now. New Zealand trying to work them back out. Shockwave.
Oh, that jump is not good. The
armor
roll
help.
comes out.
Marking the grave with the beacon and then gets the pump in. Slick with the BM.
Get out of my house. This is my plat. This is my backline. You do not need to be up here.
Oh, Shockwave coming back at him.
Looking for... Oh, if we had a little bit more time, I think we would have seen 1, maybe 2 pumps come out of Shockwave.
Here we go. This might be Melbourne's chance. Shock moving up to the plat. Pops his inkjet. Needs to get
a spot to use an inkjet to go down. It's a 4v2. This is looking like a really good push. Tower coming right. And this is where the picks that they're making are super important, that they're being backed up with the objective.
Yeah, as New Zealand rush the tower.
35, 37. They've stopped the tower. Hopping to hop.
Oh, it's going to fall short there.
Unable.
And look at them all spooling, ready to destroy that jump in. Oh, man.
And that is a 3-0 coming in from New Zealand. So what I want to point out right here is we're seeing strength rise from these teams. You've got Perth Fury with their Rainmaker. You've got New Zealand with Tower Control. And you've got Adelaide Revenge with their Splat Zones. Right?
Yeah, we're going to start to see those trends. It's just so hard at the moment. Definitely, when you see teams that have won 2 modes in the 2 rounds, for sure. But, I mean, the predictions are out the window, as we said. It's way too hard at this stage. But as we continue, we'll see those trends emerge. We'll see map trends emerge. All the strategy that's going in. The other thing is... you got to make sure all your players are getting enough games.
Right.
So that strategy is going to come into it. So which team are they going to be most suited to playing against? All those types of things. So it's the depth of the league is such a hard thing to understand and put across in these games and
to visualize. Unless we've done it once from start to finish, there are just so many micro strategies that we haven't even figured out what will happen yet.
Exactly. As the losers of that first set, Melbourne are going to be picking set 2. And let's get that sorted for us.
All right, we are starting with our next mode. What have we got?
Rainmaker.
It's what we like to hear. It's what we like to see. Our Rainmaker popping out for our next map and mode is Inkblot Art Academy. Is that correct, or is that
that's just carried forward from the last one?
Sorry, we're definitely
get ahead of
seeing
yourself.
Rainmaker come out. This is going to be very interesting. I think the control aspect of the New Zealand rush works really well for tower control because they have this objective that just flows, and they can kind of work around it and figure out where they need to stand and where they need to be. Rainmaker is a bit more chaotic.
It is. Well, I mean, FLC talked about it being such a defensive mode, but then also a very chaotic. Like when you push, you have to all push. So there's a lot of defensive waiting for the right time. I wonder if, again, Slook's experience playing with UST, and I know they're quite strong with their Rainmaker, if that's going to help the New Zealand rush here. So we've got bans coming through. Melbourne have banned Black Belly, and New Zealand have banned Anchovy Games, and New Zealand have banned Wahoo. We are going to play on Anchovy Games again.
All right. So, I mean, an awesome thing about Splatoon is you have the same map in 4 different modes, and it's 4 different experiences. NZ took out Anchovy on tower control in the first set, but I don't think that's indicative of what's going to happen this set.
No, I think it's still up in the air, really. We saw their strong tower control pick to begin with. Now it's Melbourne's turn to pick the mode, and we'll see if Rainmaker was the right choice.
Yeah, Rainmaker's a toughie, isn't it?
I think with the aggressive nature of some of their players, it could work out for them. But we'll see. I mean, it's like we said, it's kind of hard to know what maps and modes to pick at the moment, as we still just try to understand what all these teams can do and their strengths and weaknesses.
And as we see the chat trying to persuade Travi D to buy Splatoon for his son. I'm just glad that his son is enjoying Splatoon. Shout outs to Eddie. I hope you're enjoying the stream, bud.
As our players start to ready up. And I think it's interesting to see they're going back to Anchovy games.
Yes.
Obviously worked for them in the first set. Slightly different mode here, but still the advantages of the map are similar. Sloot can sit up the top there and pepper away with the ball point. Maybe they see that match up there as an advantage. We saw this in the earlier match tonight as well, and it was very back and forth, both teams getting really good runs.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be interesting to see who can take this one out. I'm hoping that we get a live third set.
Yes.
But I also want my prediction of the rush to be correct. So, I'll take either.
Yeah. We hear the bell getting ready for our second set of the Firetail League between Melbourne Maelstrom and New Zealand Rush. It's not what I expected when I saw these two teams start up. New Zealand was a bit slow to start in the first set, in the first game, first match last week. But they've really turned it around, and I'm liking what I'm seeing.
Oh, and we've got Pit Viper on the Blob Lobber.
We do, but then also we have MGJ and Slook coming out with double splooshes.
Yeah, so they would have secured that pop, I imagine.
Yes.
We didn't see it, but interesting that Lobster letting Pit Viper take the Blob Lobber.
Mm-hmm.
As Lob is known for that, but Pit Viper very capable.
And New Zealand coming out with their two splooshes. The only time we ever saw FLC quiet was when we asked him, how do you counter multiple splooshes?
Yeah.
And he just stopped talking.
I think the answer is more splooshes. If you can't beat them, join them.
That's right. So we get a 26 push come out, which is we've got an opposite flow happening where NZ have made the first push. Let's see if Melbourne can stay composed, can hold this under pressure and do something better than 26.
Yeah, and the benefit that that New Zealand comp has is all those splat bombs, or 3 splat bombs and a suction bomb. So, I mean, that's what we talked about with FLC, was throwing those bombs in defense.
Yep.
Getting...
Oh, shot comes out from Shockwave. Beautiful. Takes an absolute key person out there. They have no X-rank player sitting up there. Look, cross range.
Yeah, nice.
No Slook Duke there.
No, and New Zealand managed to stop the push there, sorry. And Ray trying not to be outdone by his younger brother from yesterday, picking up some key splats.
Matthew being 3-on-1 there. Not a number that you want to be on the 1.
No, definitely not. Splatoon's all about fighting together.
And just again, the 2-on-1 comes in. The drop down from the Nautilus was extremely risky, hoping to get a few more picks so that Melbourne could push forward. But his death is a real consequence for this push. Ray trying to take out someone in mid. Unable to do it, but keeping the fan up. And I always love these fights around fan because it's half about keeping the high ground, and the other half is about making sure you're not getting shot.
Yeah, and running out of ink as well, trying to deal with all of that. But Melbourne have the ability to push here. It looks like they're waiting for Pitt, I think, to jump in and take that.
Ooh, bombs coming directly on.
Goy falls off the ledge though.
Loses the second half of his splat bomb rush.
26 is still a long way. And you see all those bombs coming out.
Where Goy could not turn around, so he had to turn back into the fray because a perfectly placed bomb was behind him. Ray taking out Shockwave, that's 3 down, 4 down. That is a wipe.
And they're
That
going
is
to get
the
a
end of that push.
quick pop here and they can go again.
Slook is picking up here, so only one of the hammers is going to go forward. But Ness actually has it. Ness has it ready to use. So we might see this hammer come down this choke point.
Yeah, they just need to deal with those guys up the top there. But they're poised for a big push again here.
Ray doesn't want to overcommit by dropping down this, so constantly going back to the fan, pushing it back up, trying to pick someone off, get a few shots. Ooh. White line fever coming out for the Inkjet. When you see it in the air, you have to kill it.
Oh, a nice bomb kill there from Ray. He's controlling this midsection. Just waiting for his team to come back in. Oh, and could they be going for the right-hand push here? It's very risky because if it gets stuck up there, then it can be hard to get back.
Right, and their stall tactics are going to probably come out in the last minute here anyway. This is a great spot to kind of hold it. There's no way they can grab and run right now. Unless they coordinate that far right push.
Correct, which is probably the toughest push you can have here.
MGJ coming out with a hammer now. Pitt trying to throw himself onto the... See, even if it was inevitably taken out there, he brought the hammer away from the rest of that.
Yeah, they're going to add to their score.
Oh, which doesn't matter because 6 points in the last 30 seconds. It's going to be a hard push to come back from. What has Melbourne got?
Yeah, I mean, I think the comp here with all the bombs, I keep coming back to it, but that seems to be the key difference here.
Right. Two splatter shots, two
And
splooshes.
two splooshes.
That's
Who would have
3
thought
splat bombs and a suction bomb. That is so much hammer pressure. Versus, they've got only 2 bombs on the other team.
it? Correct. So, Lobster with the Rainmaker, but
I feel like we're just stalling here.
Yeah.
The inevitable that you're not going to get past these 4 bombs. And I think Melbourne really need to think about their team coming into this next match because these bombs are going to stop them every time.
yeah, Ooh.
Bomb comes out the back of Lob.
Down. I wonder if there's any maps that, as Melbourne now will get the choice of map, I wonder if there's any maps that could suit their comp better, or I'm not quite sure what they can do here.
Huge game coming out from Ray 13 with 17 kills and 5 specials, Inkjets.
Yeah.
Trying to take Kaz off the top of the board for most specials.
So a very green scoreboard we're seeing down the bottom there.
We're expecting a Christmas themed.
Yeah, Christmas is cancelled for the Melbourne Maelstrom.
Right.
New Zealand been very dominant, even taking out that turf war. So
We could actually see our first 9-0.
yeah, you don't want to be on the end of that.
You don't want to be on the end
could
of
even
that.
be 10-0 if you count the turf war. So
Oh, God. All right. Now, do the turf wars go towards the stats checkers?
they do not go towards the stats.
Okay.
No, it's only the ranked games.
Okay.
But turf war still very important for your counter picking and your mode picking. So let's not dismiss the turf war.
You know what Shock likes to be? An underdog.
You reckon?
Yeah. I think so. I think we're going to see Melbourne have to adjust their comp here, and maybe Rainmaker might not even be the place to change it. But I think we're going to see a resurgence from Melbourne coming into this.
Yeah, and their map pick has just come through. And they're going with New Albacore Hotel. So I think they're trying to really open up the maps here and get something where those bombs might not be as big a factor. If they've got more space to move, it could help.
No, I totally agree. New Albacore is going to open up and remove the blob lobbers from the game. I don't know if there was much effect of the chaos the blob lobber provides. I don't think I saw much of it in the game previous.
No.
But it definitely wipes it out from this map. So we might see Pitt come back out in a ball point. Or maybe Loose Goose might actually appear.
Yeah, or from the game chat, I'm hearing that Melbourne are sticking with the 4 that they've got.
Right.
So that's for the whole match, I believe. So won't see any subs from them, but I believe New Zealand are currently subbing. So we'll see when that goes through, and then we can get this next match underway. Match point, I should point out.
Match point.
For the New Zealand Rush.
If they win this will be a feather in the cap for Rush. Melbourne took out last weekend. We're going to get a stacked leaderboard if that's the case.
We are. And I
Very
don't
close.
even want to begin to try and work out who will be on top.
You know what will come down to?
It's going to come down to the games won.
Why is it going to come down to games won?
Because every game matters.
That is right, guys. Every game matters here. So we have everyone's kind of readied up in here.
Yeah, we're just making sure that the subbing has ended.
Would you like to take this time to maybe plug in your laptop?
I would, because it is going to run out.
It's going to run out of battery. It's very hard to TO with a laptop that isn't turned on.
Okay, let me do that while people are readying up. I'll get this lobby sorted. As Kaz comes back in for MGJ.
MGJ is taking a step out. I wonder if they're going to keep with their double
Yeah, no,
sploosh.
I don't think so based on that.
That's
maybe Sluke's going to go to ballpoint. So
Oh, sure. Yep. Griffin played a lot of matches last week, so maybe, it's less reliant on pulling Griffin out this time because, if you're only doing it to hit minimum games done, then she is safe for that. Successfully plugged in. All good?
we're getting there.
Yeah, great. Be careful, there's cables going everywhere in this stream setup. Oh, waiting for us to ready up as the final there. We hear the song of the Splatoon 2 lobby. Is that actually...
Yeah, no, we're all good.
Oh, you just turned the brightness down to save some settings.
I
Great.
did.
Perfect. Guys, we're going into our next match here. This is match point for New Zealand. If New Zealand win this will be the first landslide that we've ever seen in the Firetail League as teams start to separate from each other.
So Sluke and Matthew playing the double CDS there for New Zealand, and they've got Kaz on support with the armor of the NZAP and a K-Shot. And then we've got Melbourne playing a pretty similar comp.
Oh, Lobster needs to look out behind. Gets a bit of white line fever. Gets the stop there. Manages to take out two. A great two to take out as well. Sluke and the Rainmaker. Very handy. It's going to begin the next push for Melbourne.
As we see Pit Viper, who now has the advantage over... He's picked up the Rainmaker for now, but he's got that range advantage with the ballpoint now that Sluke's changed to the CDS.
Right.
So you could see more from Pit.
We have seen Sluke play a lot of CDS, and he's very apt at it. He's very proficient with it.
The Rain Cloud comes over, trying to push Pit Viper back.
Oh,
Sluke
Pit gets
taken out.
Taken down. Two down now from New Zealand. Ray going to try and take his luck. Oh no! I think Pit Viper has pushed himself into the water with too many shots. You hate to see
You
it.
think so?
I think so.
I would have preferred to see it, and then we could know for sure, but that's an unfortunate outcome there. So Shock and Pit here, two longer range weapons trying to work together. So maybe that's why they think that this map is going to be a bit more suited.
Looks like Sluke coming over this left-hand side here. Hiding and ducking weave, doing exactly what the CDS should. A few bullets taken on him. Sluke managing to escape and gets a double team over there as well, where Sluke manages to win. Ray drops down. Sluke comes in for another kill. Going in for a third one there. Great movement.
Slosher behind.
Unfortunately, the 2v1 comes out from Melbourne and really secures that kill.
Good work from Pit, waiting for that support from Goy there.
Yep.
So a nice close one here. We've not seen that early push that we've seen in all the other games.
But we're seeing a lot of pressure come from New Zealand. 2 just jumped over that left-hand side here. Pitt's going to be out of position very soon.
Might-
Oh, no, he's not. Pitt is going to say...
Or they're going for a quick run on the left. They're right. But
Oh, great job. Pitt has managed to take out 2 flanks very quick. So one comes to his right-hand side. He's just taken out Kaz there. And then Sluke pops out in front of him in here. And he manages to stop that, which would have been the beginning of the next push for New Zealand.
that's right. So Lobster now taking control of the Rainmaker, trying to get Melbourne out of this awkward position.
Sluke on the 2v1 manages
he's
to
gonna-
take out Pitt. Lobster in the drink after so much pressure.
Yeah, but it was probably a smart move because it gets it to reset. New Zealand don't get to pick it up right where they were.
Which would have been devastating.
Yeah, it was in a dangerous position there.
As soon as Kaz loses that range in that fight, Goy has the height advantage and the slosh advantage. Runs out of ink. Oh, you hate to see it. Terrible ink consumption there from that slosher. Matthew manages to go in and take that out. Double CDS rolls. Disgusting. Coming out from Sluke and Matthew. Slafew.
That's... Why are you making this a thing? So this time Melbourne really doing a good job of absorbing the pressure. We saw them sort of crumble in the first Rainmaker game, but there's still a chance here to make a good push and take the lead if everything goes right.
Agreed. Now Pitt's holding that Rainmaker again. Definitely the dedicated Rainmaker pusher. But he needs support. Goy and Shockwave have tried to go around the right-hand side to push, but they've left him completely open, only with one in front of him.
If he can go that short bridge, he might get a nice push here. Here we go.
He has. They've decided to transition to the short bridge rather than the right. They've taken the lead and they're going for the first thing. Pitt, he can go!
Oh, that's...
All the way. Great transition from Pitt. Everyone thinking he's going to go left. The right-hand side manages to take a few picks and Pitt transitions to go for the dunk here.
Yeah, that was well done. Very well done there by Melbourne.
What did Melbourne do there that the rush couldn't handle?
I think it was just the change of direction really just caught them off guard. And
Do you mean in that last push there?
that last push,
It's all it takes is one good push.
definitely in a mode like Rainmaker. Yeah, they all got caught defending that right-hand side, and you saw Lobster distracting from one side, and then Goy and Shockwave came through the middle and just held New Zealand in that corner of the map and allowed Pitt to waltz his way through.
Right.
Obviously, it was very important that they actually secured those kills as well, but yeah, that change of direction really seemed to work.
Yeah, no, that's what you want, right? The good Rainmaker strats and that coordination and patience to make something like that happen. You know, you talk about there are people who can push the Rainmaker very quickly, which gets you some points, but sometimes that control allows plays to reopen, allows plays to open up.
Yep.
And that's what we saw there. Getting Melbourne on the board. This Christmas theme is now coming to life. And we'll get to watch some more competitive Splatoon, and we're not just playing for games.
Exactly. And these two teams, I don't know if they're mucking around with us, but first game of Tower Control and was Anchovy, first game for Rainmaker is Anchovy, and now Inkblot being the third game in both sets. So
And this was picked by New Zealand.
this one was picked by New Zealand, yeah. I think
That is an interesting choice considering they ran double CDS.
Well, I know, yeah. I think they're going to go back to their double shot, double sploosh comp.
Right, yep.
This is perfect for it.
Still game point, still...
Match point.
Match point.
Yeah, correct. So Melbourne, not out of the woods here. They need to secure this win so that they can try and take hold of this match. Shockwave, not one... He's not afraid to get that reverse sweep, as we've seen before, and I'm sure Sluke knows all about that one.
Shockwave, the janitor. Unfortunate trip to LA out of that reverse sweep in the past. So maybe Sluke's coming back to try and take some games off Shock.
So we see Ness sub back in.
All right, so they're definitely coming back out with that double sploosh.
Definitely would not surprise me here. Worked so well in that first game. So it's really up to Melbourne how they're going to counter that.
Yep.
So it's Kaz that's taken a seat on the substitution bench at the moment. Armor not always great for Rainmaker, doesn't protect the Rainmaker carrier, so maybe just don't think that he's needed for this mode. He was very useful on the tower control, but yeah, we'll see. I think that double shot, double sploosh comp could get them over the line here.
Yep, I agree. It's such a short map, such a rush down comp, and then those bombs. There's just not enough places to stand on this map.
Yeah, I hope Melbourne's got that bomb defense up.
Yeah, just
ability.
Running pures. Thank you very much, ProChara. Is now hosting us for up to 37 viewers. Thank you so much. Hey guys, for you guys all joining, this is the Firetail League. This is an AUNZ Draft League Cup, where we have separated the best of AUNZ into 6 very even teams, which we don't know how we got this even.
We spent a while on the teams. We didn't think it was going to be this good.
No, that's pretty good. And so you've just missed a match before with the other team. Every weekend we have 3 games played with our 6 teams. And what you're watching right now is the match point for Rainmaker. If New Zealand Rush win this, they take home the game. Take home the match.
And just as we suspected, the double shot, double sploosh comes out from New Zealand. Melbourne's still running a very similar comp to what they have in the last 2 games, so it's going to have to be a strategic change rather than a composition change.
But now they've got to stop this bomb rush. They've got to do something. They've got to use this momentum that they've got.
3 down on New Zealand, so an early push going to come out from Melbourne.
Look at how quick they
run.
go.
Oh, the
23. Amazing stop by Ray 13, who manages to stop that push. Goy keeps it alive with a bomb behind. Goy is going to be single-handedly responsible for making this.
But they've run off with the Rainmaker.
Whereas, and now they're just trying to lock it out, hoping the rest of the team can actually stay. They've got Goy and 2 of their best slayers up the front. Not enough. Ray 13 comes and stops Goy straight away.
Ray having a really nice match so far as well.
Taking out Shockwave as well. Another crucial pick for New Zealand Rush to stop that push. Running straight into a few blobs. Very weak at the moment. Okay, now they've got to reset here. Melbourne have to be ready for this defense and this bomb pressure to come out.
One chasing the Rainmaker there, and they're going to pick them up.
The dive works, but the dive doesn't always work. You've got to be careful about doing that, because if he died, it just would have been an advantage to New Zealand.
And they're 3 down again. So Melbourne getting the chance here to make another push.
Shock trying to he's got 3 people around him. No one's dropped down yet. No one's fallen to his inkjet.
And a bit more of a patient push this time from Melbourne. Don't have to rush.
3 of them up top. Slook is down. This is the beginning of the push. 3 coming up from the top.
The hammer.
Hammer is going to stop, but that's okay. That's all right, as long as more people stay alive. MGJ taking out 2 people.
So it's just Shockwave wherever he might be hiding.
Shockwave's on the wall. Okay.
New Zealand
holding people off.
Still in this. So Shock doing a good job of just continuing to pressure this plat. Not too worried about what's happening with the Rainmaker at the moment.
Math needs a bit of support. Matthew, I love the jump. We don't see enough of it. We've only seen one other time that Geo jumped to someone else. You don't got to jump to spawn.
No, it was a smart move that they could try and get that push going. Unfortunately, it hasn't worked out that way, with Melbourne playing some really good defense, and that Rainmaker's stuck down there in the pit.
In the pit. Not in the Viper.
Not in the Viper.
Oh, Shock!
And
knows exactly where he is, lands every Nautilus bullet on him. Seeing one up in the top right, seeing if he can get a bit of spray, gets a few clips, not enough. Probably fall off damage. You're going to take a few 6 bullets to take him out. Looking to paint their platform, but they're not coming from there. They're all dropping from that left-hand side. Now right-hand side, now left-hand side. Very difficult for us to distinguish what side they're on.
Yes, and Melbourne just doing a much better job of dealing with this comp.
Yeah.
it's like we're watching a different team compared to the first game. At least.
Yeah, maybe the confidence from a win is what they needed to kind of get themselves back into this. Pitt goes down, MGJ goes down as well.
Just Ray up.
We're looking at a 3v3. They've got the Rainmaker, which means specials are being charged. They can't hold this for too long. Lob's finding an entrance.
Ray getting the
Increases it
stop again.
from 23 to 17. The pressure is insurmountable coming from Melbourne. Shockwave trying to get...
Nice.
Good shot coming out from Ray 13. And the Rainmaker's halfway across the map.
Ray getting a couple of clutch stops so far in this match. Really defending well and then gets straight onto the attack, takes out Shockwave. So Ray having a great game here.
Now, does it feel like New Zealand are using less bombs than they originally did? I don't feel that bomb pressure nearly as hard as it was in the first round.
Yeah, I think they're just going down too early, so they're not getting that pressure that we saw in the first game. They were constantly 4 of them up. Now, Melbourne are doing a good job of getting an early pick so that they can't just sit back. Oh, Slick makes a jump. I don't know what's going on
how
there.
did he stay alive for all that time? I think with this map versus Anchovy is that there are a lot of different directions you can get attacked from, and bomb pressure works when you're funneling it down a line.
Yeah, this map probably suits Shockwave. You've seen him flanking again using that tactic. That seems to be causing New Zealand a bit of problem as they're 2 down.
This looks like it's definitely going to be a Melbourne game. Ness not being able to withstand the bomb pressure coming in from Goizord there.
And how quickly do these change? Because New Zealand took out the Turf War and the first 4 games. Melbourne have only won 2 games.
Yeah.
And we're now back to even standings as far as set wins.
Yes, Lobster doing a great job in that match. You know, that's all you need. 2 wins. 2 wins. And then you've instantly won the set. That's now 1v1 going into this final.
Yeah, it basically just resets the whole match.
It's so quickly how that can shift. So much momentum was going Russia's way. Who is ready for the Maelstrom?
What can New Zealand do here? They get to choose the mode. Last week they picked clams. I don't know if that's
the play. I think splat zones for their comp is better than the Maelstrom comp. But it really depends on what they want to pick.
Splat zones.
Looks like we're going with a splat zones is the final pick of this. Final mode that we're going to see between these 2 teams.
As teams start to sub, we're waiting for our map bans to come through. There's 10 maps in every mode. A map is banned by each team, and then they can select from the remaining 8 maps. So,
right.
Bans starting to come through. Shockwave for the Melbourne Maelstrom has banned Schellendorf.
Interesting.
So
maybe they feel a bit of pressure from Slook.
Don't want to give Slook the roof there.
Mm-hmm.
We're just waiting on the New Zealand ban, and then it'll be on the Melbourne Maelstrom to pick the map. So, still a good chance to continue this momentum into splat zones.
Speaking of momentum, we're sitting here with 142 viewers at the moment. Ooh. Thank you, Chara, for giving us some of your viewers. I hope you guys have stuck around and enjoying what we're doing here. This is our final set. This is the end of our league Splatoon for this week.
Yes, but we're back every week.
At
the same time, so it is 6 p.m. AEST on Saturday nights, and then 11 a.m. on Sunday mornings AEST. So that sort of translates to our Saturday night being Saturday morning for
North America?
No, for Europe.
For Europe?
So
yep.
that Saturday game has been designed to present these players to the European scene, and then our games on Sunday are basically prime time in North America. So you're looking at sort of starting from about 8:30 p.m. on the East Coast and 5:30 p.m. on the West Coast in America. So make sure you tune in every week as this league unfolds.
And not only that, guys, we've got a website that is tracking the stats of all these players here. If you go to firetailevents.com, you will see updated stats from every one of these games. You'll be able to see league tables, league leaderboards, who's doing the best kills, we've got a play of the week. We've got so much content that we're just drip feeding throughout the week. There's always something new to look about, to read, and to get a part of. So look, guys, get a part of it, get amongst it. The more buzz that you guys create, the better experience we get to give you guys.
And maybe while we're getting into the next map, so the map here is Humpback Pump Track.
Hey, I don't think we've seen Humpback Pump Track the entire league.
We might have had it one time on zones.
Yep.
I think that was in the Brisbane Adelaide set.
Okay.
But still a really good pick here. I would be interested to see if Shockwave brings out the Explosher.
Shock on the Explosh on his little hump is pretty dangerous, right? If there is a Pit Viper in the team, which I think there is.
There will be, yep.
There is a second spot for Pit to get set up.
On that right-hand side.
On the right-hand side there, yep. But then that only leaves 2 people on the zone. Lobster can probably dance around enough. I think he'd be a solid pick to, his support pick in mid, constantly painting and staying alive. I don't know where Goy's going to stay. The slosh is great for this map.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be able to pressure those humps on the other side. So if he can slosh over that might help the team. This game is so important because you take this, you're on match point.
Yes.
So the pressure is immediately put on the other team.
Yes, it is. Oh, it's crazy how that flips so quickly.
And I think especially for the Rush, you don't want to drop the 3rd game in a row. Like they really need. This is their chance to wrestle back momentum. The change of modes. This is such a key game in the context of this match, in the context of the entire season. Melbourne looking to be the only team to get to 2 wins after the first 2 rounds.
To definitely take out their top spot on the leaderboard.
And New Zealand trying to avoid going 0-2. And that's a tall mountain to climb if you end up going back.
So you're saying round 1 we got all upsets, and then round 2 we got upsets for the upsets?
Yeah, basically, that is what is going on, which is insane.
Does that mean that every team is rocking a win or loss at the moment? The other 4 teams are all rocking a win and loss.
That's it.
What is this league? What have we done? New Zealand has banned Kelp Dome, by the way, for you guys at home. We're getting into our gameplay, guys. This is our final set. Let's get amongst it. We are seeing Pit come out with that booyah, but the NZAP come out on Shockwave. So no Explosher, but I know that Shockwave can paint, kill, and armor. Between Lobster's Junior and Shockwave's NZAP, there's going to be double armor come out here. I think it's a great turf comp. We see the first flip come out from New Zealand there, and an armor come out instantly back the other side. This is going to be a war of attrition on this map.
And it's both teams with double armor, actually, so we're going to see an armor fest here.
Right. It'd be interesting to see the range on the MGJ's 96 scale.
Yep.
It doesn't really work with these world-shaped maps, these spherical maps.
Yeah, it's going to be harder to get those hits on the 96.
Right.
And also, interestingly, Sluke is the one who's gone to Expo, so...
yes. Okay, great. So someone's got to deal with him. Someone's got to get around and stop him from doing it. You can keep him back with bomb pressure, but if you get around the elbow, you can really take him out. Ray, beautiful shots there on Goy. Someone's hiding in Cubby. Ray didn't quite see it. Got out in time.
And New Zealand back in control of the zone. Going to score their points. It was looking for a nice explosion kill there from Sluke. So really in a good position now. They've pushed them back. 2 down now for Melbourne. This could be a key push in the context of this game. Sloot controlling the whole area of the map.
And that's how suppressive and oppressive, all the pressives, impressive, Slook is on the Explosher in the middle of the zone. He can look over everything. And he's only taking a few swings every second. Ooh, Shockwave coming out with the bag. Knows that we're giving Slook props. Shockwave wanted the props. Gave him the bag.
So we flip the script again, and Melbourne in control through their penalty.
3 coming out from New
lying in
Zealand.
wait.
Yeah, but with big glowing eyes. You don't lie in wait with the armour on. It doesn't quite work like that. Now Melbourne have taken the lead. They're counting down. This is dire for Melbourne if they want to get back into this. Ray 13 being taken out.
Or
2 being taken out. Shock
could be
coming for the extra bags.
Yeah,
New
New
great
Zealand
control from the Melbourne.
New Zealand are done here, so Shockwave going nuts on the bags. He's excited, and I can see why. Melbourne flipped the script, gone to match point. Insane. You couldn't write this stuff.
No. Instantly, Melbourne are now flipped what was going to be a 5-0. Flipped it straight around, and now it's going to be in Melbourne's favour. Yes, we're playing Splat Zones, just in case anyone at home didn't know that. That was Melbourne taking out that first match.
Why do we keep doing this to ourselves?
I don't know.
We are taking years off our lives doing this. Are you kidding me?
I keep the commentator screen away from us because if everyone saw it, they just see...
Like, look, we're flushed.
Right, and the entire time we'd be like, oh! Just like the entirety of the map just looking like...
Rambo Pog.
Pingo. Oh, Rambo. Yes, so...
I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know. I don't think New Zealand need to change much to win.
No, and I mean, they get to choose the map this time. Was it the map? Was it the mode? We get maps come in.
I think the map has come in, and it looks like we're going to get Piranha Pit.
We are indeed. So going this time with a double zone map. I wonder if that will help them. The difficult thing with Humpback is that I think the Booyah Pit was actually important, although we didn't necessarily see it a lot. But it did capture the zone at one stage, so those Booyah bombs on the single zone map can be pretty important. So
Great.
Maybe New Zealand just looking to sort of split the attention to the 2 zones and might be able to secure some more picks. Also, Slook potentially can set up on the left-hand side and pepper one zone. So maybe not a bad choice from New Zealand here. And we want to go back-to-back game 9s.
We would love that. It would be like we're manipulating the script if that happened. It's too consistent. How many game 9s out of 6 total games?
A lot. But more importantly, every one that we have commentated so far. We've commentated 2 matches. Both have gone to game 9. Can we make it 3 here today?
Can we make it 3?
As teams start to ready up. Just waiting for one more player to lock in their weapon selection.
Great.
This is going to be a cracker.
Yes, it
Absolute
is.
cracker. And I'm glad that we can share this experience with our 143 viewers.
Yes, 143 viewers, guys. This is awesome. I love that everyone's getting a part of this and getting into this. There was a bit of lull. We haven't had a lot of AUNZ love from Nintendo at the moment with everything that's going on. So, we tried to fill that void, and we hope it's filling the void in your hearts. And that little Firetail, little logo on their hearts now. If everyone can just get tattoos, that'd be good. Alright guys, this is, once again, we're in a match point situation. This time for Melbourne Maelstrom. Maelstrom.
The memes are getting to you, mate.
I know, all I do is read it. Melbourne Maelstrom taking out the New Zealand Rush.
Not much changing in these compositions.
Doesn't need to.
No, it's just who can secure the splats at the right time. And so far, everyone's just painting up. As Shockwave goes down, that might be New Zealand's chance to take control.
Comes out with the armor as a counter, but not enough. Lobster deciding to stay back and just make sure that, you know, Shockwave can get back in before they try anything next.
And interesting, we're seeing a lot of double armor comps from these two teams today.
Right.
Maybe they're just trying to combat each other.
I think it plays to their strengths, right? I think they've got some good fraggers, and their coordination comes best from them being together, not using specials together.
Yep. So Melbourne counting down, trying to take the lead. It's still early days here in this game, but...
Oh, Shockwave managed to take out Slook, and almost like a go signal that turns him on. That's 2 down. A quick double pump from Shock. Can he keep going?
Jump out
They've
there.
jumped out. I'd say that's a win for Shock. He's done a great job there, pushing him out. If we can just have a quick look as they're just trying to come back in. Shockwave instantly got the kill on Slook, got the assist for the second one, and then put enough pressure on the third one that he's out of there.
Yep. And that replay brought to you by Struddies. Get all your apparel from Struddies.
Yeah.
But we're down to 20 seconds, and
This
things
is
are
looking
getting
like the
desperate.
beginning of the end. As we say that, New Zealand, Ray gets a perfect double kill. Lobster trying to run for the hills. Can he get the final tap before he jumps out? No.
Oh, jumped into it. That was,
What?
Imagine that in 3D.
My goodness, I almost fell out of my chair watching the guy jump back in. Look at this. You've never quite seen it. Straight in your face. That's what we love to see here. The flip has gone to New Zealand, counting down, not enough.
Oh.
Kaz trying to get a kill, just trying to stay alive and walk backwards.
Gets Lobster. Oh, they lose control of the zone though, so they're going to have to work through penalty again.
Another 30 penalty.
Kaz doing a good job painting up. Zone's flipping back and forth. See how they go. They're almost through the penalty here. They're in a good position. 2 down from Melbourne.
Kaz going to come out with another armor soon just to counter. I wonder when a good time is that.
Now. There
No.
it goes.
Alright, cool. So
Bomb Rush comes out.
at the perfect time, the Bomb Rush comes out to chew through that armor so they can get in. Goy manages to take out Slook.
2 down for New Zealand.
Ray 13 trying to stay alive, trying to keep the zone. One zone's down. Ray has to back off.
They can hold on to one of the zones.
Get some
so-
missiles. He's being double pinched. Can he escape?
Oh, can't get the jump out.
Gets picked out by Shockwave. That was a great retake by Melbourne. What coordination. How did Slook die?
I don't even know. Can't even think right now. We're getting Melbourne to come back through the penalty. Armour gets popped by Shock. One goes down on Melbourne.
So they've decided to take the left drop as their way to come in. Can New Zealand push through? One's come behind Shock. Shock is dancing around Ray.
Oh,
the
huge.
armor comes out. Ray manages to take it out as well. MGJ gets the final kill on that apparently.
And they're going to take zone. They're 3 down Melbourne.
No, but Goy is... Oh, Goy was one tap away from taking
This-
out MGJ.
This is New Zealand's chance here. They need to get in position to lock this out. I'm on the edge of my seat.
I know. Melbourne's retakes have been just so coordinated that I don't think New Zealand can hold them back. Here it finally comes in and bombs come in.
They're almost through the penalty.
I think they've just... Oh, Goy manages to take out one, gets traded. The second one goes down. 2 down for Melbourne. For New Zealand.
2
Lob
down on
manages
both.
to paint down the zone.
That flip was so important for Melbourne there. New Zealand coming back, take the zone. They're going to get the cap. Alright, 30 seconds to get through the penalty, and then, what's that, 11 seconds to get through the lead.
Armor comes out once again from Kaz, our top special bringer for the league at the moment. We can see why, definitely providing all the support that their team needs.
Oh.
Pit Viper being taken down, another armor comes out. This is New Zealand's game for the next 24 seconds.
Painter versus Painter, Lobster and Kaz going at it. They just need to hold this zone.
Oh,
Kaz-
the right takes
Oh.
the kill on Shock.
2 points in it. They need to hold a zone here.
Is it enough?
New Zealand desperately need this zone.
Armour comes out. This is a great look for Melbourne. This could be the beginning of the end. This
4
way,
seconds to
Booyah's
go.
coming out.
They've neutralised the zone. Can they
One
take
zone
it?
comes out.
They get the cap. Melbourne need one zone.
Trying to hold that zone. Need a bit of...
They're
it's
in
come
control.
out. New Zealand need to hold on to this zone for long
They're
enough.
one down
Otherwise,
now.
it's Melbourne. 2 down. Melbourne are going to take this.
Oh my lord! Have you seen
Far
splat
out.
zones like that in your life? That was out of control.
I don't know what to say. That was such a close match. I'm so impressed with Melbourne and how they came back in consistently every time. It wasn't the first wipe or the second wipe. Every time they came back in, and
Shockwave with the 18 KE there.
I-
Coming through when it matters most. New Zealand must be broken inside there. That was such a close game. Oh my goodness.
Congratulations to Melbourne, the first team taking out the top of our league at the end of round 2. They will be on top of the ladder, the only team with 2 wins. New Zealand, unfortunately, the only team with 2 losses. But they were close games. They were the definition of close games. What?
I feel so bad for New Zealand right now. That was insane. They were so close to. They were 3 seconds away from winning this and forcing us to a game 9.
I think we need heart monitors attached to this just so they can see how fast our hearts are beating at the end of that game. That's incredible. I can't believe that it was that close. Mia, that would be another FLC analysis desk breakdown.
Yeah, Melbourne were much better at coming in and just securing the zones very quickly. They kept getting that penalty put back on New Zealand. So there was a few times there where they got a crucial pick or just got enough paint down to capture the zone. But yes, we're splitting hairs now. I mean,
We are.
That was so close.
Yep. Okay, so we've got our final match. We haven't actually seen this, I know for sure. It is Moray Towers Splat Zones. Slook feeling that his backline might be able to hold up to Shockwave and the lack of backline coming out in Melbourne.
Yeah, I know a lot of teams now just don't run backline on Moray and try and just push up aggressively. So may see that happen, but they do have Pit Viper who will probably stick with a ballpoint on here and get the jump-ins on the beacons. Sloop is probably similar idea there.
Yeah, agreed, yeah.
And we are in the awkward situation where New Zealand could win this and have won 5 of the 9 games and still lose. Which is just rough.
That is brutal to think about it like that.
Yep.
To win the majority of your games, but to lose the overall match.
Yeah, it's rough. It's a rough situation to be in. So, but the games are still important, and they might come back to assist New Zealand later if they can secure some wins in the next matches.
Mm-hmm.
The good thing for New Zealand is there's only one team on 2 wins. They're still only 1 win away, really, from second spot.
Mm-hmm.
So if they can keep their game win count up, then they'll be in an okay situation.
I agree, yeah.
They also took a set. Set wins are also important. So our standings are obviously match wins and
Most
then
important?
set wins and then game wins.
Okay.
So you need to, even if you lose the match, you need to get as many set wins and game wins as possible.
Yep. All right, so we definitely are moving into our last game, which can put Rush winning 5 games. And I think it's important for them for morale, and I think it's important for them just to test out something else that's going to work so that they can bring that confidence into the next week.
Yeah, and looking at a map that maybe not that many teams will pick, so maybe in the future it could be a sneaky pocket pick map for
Right.
New Zealand.
It's polarizing, right? To certain teams, certain teams are going to love it, and some teams are going to hate it.
Yeah, and we see Sluke not going with his ball point.
Yep.
Like I said, a lot of teams looking to run a more aggressive comp on more aided zones now. New Zealand go 2 down, and Melbourne going to take control of that zone. So it's important for them to secure snipe, to secure the overlook, and make it really hard for New Zealand.
So you can
to
see
push
Shock and Pitt have secured the right and Lobsters, the left, and Lobsters on this right hand side. So they've done a very good job of securing that, but overrun by Sluke and Sluke's crew.
Yeah, they've got control back of the zone. There's still a lot of players up on Melbourne though, so they might need to look back at mid and find out what's going on there.
Yeah. Sluke's getting some pressure from Snipe. That is Pitt on ball point, if I'm not mistaken.
Heavy remix, but yeah.
Heavy remix.
This is a potential advantage for Melbourne, especially in that mid area, if Pitt can get set up. Once he starts getting pushed back, then he's going to have more problems.
Right, and that movement from Sluke there, as he was trying to escape that Nautilus, was incredible. He knew he couldn't overextend and used short hops in some Sluke jukes that you might have missed to escape that situation.
Yeah, and New Zealand doing well here. They just need the other zone. The chicken rush comes out. How many bombs was that?
What was it? A chicken rush and a spike bomb? A burst bomb rush?
Yeah.
Bombs away. Goy being taken out from behind. That's 3 down apiece. Now 1 more down to Melbourne, so it looks like New Zealand might be able to capitalise on this 2 down moment.
The
bomb! Almost synchronized. It's like a demolitions expert. He has placed the bomb at the perfect spot behind him while taking out Pitt in front, instantly causing a double explosion.
Perfect. And we're seeing Shockwave on the carbon. Maybe a bit of a shout out to Goose here.
Other people in chat are referring to Perks and what Perks has done to Shock here. Obviously, right. Close teammates in other leagues. With the carbon choice, we'll see how it goes for Shock here. I think they're just riding off their high of winning the game, winning the match, seeing what else works for them. Or maybe Goose is coaching from behind.
Maybe. We see...
Goy's been taken out.
Sluke having a really nice game. He has got up to 8 KA. Picks up Pitt as well.
Right.
And they're going to take back control of that zone. And we count back through penalty. So New Zealand looking for this consolation prize, and they thoroughly deserve it because they had an amazing match today. Unfortunately, going down to Melbourne Maelstrom, but any extra wins are going to be really important for them in any tie-break situations.
Sluke coming out with another double kill. Sluke just does not want to be messed with right now. Pitt being taken down by Goy in a good 2-on-1. And we're looking like the counter's going down for New Zealand. It looks like a pretty good lockout.
Yeah, down to 20 seconds to go. MGJ get another pick.
He's loving the 96 on this map. This is max range MGJ that we get to see here. Got a double there between Pitt.
Almost near the zone, and that's going to be
2-1.
And Ness falls off the map to end it.
And I'd really like to see the end here. I really think that that Sluke went large here, as well as Ness, MGJ.
Yeah, absolutely right. So Sluke picking up 12 and Ness on 9, leading the way there for New Zealand. Sadly.
So as we look at our final there, this is the first time that we've seen it, guys. It was 5 games to Rush, only 4 games to Melbourne, but they were the games that mattered.
Indeed.
Walking away with the 2-1, putting Melbourne on top of the ladder and putting Rush at the bottom of the ladder.
Yeah, so very unfortunate. They started so strong, New Zealand, but, the game's not won in the first 5 games, is it? So
no, it's not.
That was some of the best Splatoon I've ever seen. I don't know. That was insane.
It was good.
That Piranha zones. For a while there, we both went silent because it was just like, oh my gosh.
Well, anything we said would have been contradicted in the next second.
Yeah.
Right? So it's best just not say anything and hope that the play resolves itself.
Yeah. insane.
We got some 2 people to drag in, right?
Oh yeah, we should probably find some interviews.
As that's happening, I want to take this time. We had Play of the Week last week, which we had 5 players nominated, and they have been voted throughout the week. And it is my pleasure to announce the winner of the first week. It's Yoshiko. So, hell yes to Yoshiko. Very good job. We've got a box full of ASUS prizes here for you. We'll get in contact with you separately, and you'll get your choice of what you want from that box. Thank you very much to ASUS ROG. You guys are great, and thank you very much for the small prizes. So we'll get that sorted, and then we'll figure out the next set of plays, which we've got a smorgasbord to pick from.
Absolutely. So those prizes probably get sent out at the end of the season.
Yes.
Just in case you win all of them. And we can get them all out at once. But yeah, congratulations to Yosh.
On the double inkjet.
Yeah, the inkjet on inkjet action.
Right, and we could only pick one play, but if we watched Yosh last week, she did that multiple times. Her inkjet was suppressive. It was great.
Yeah, definitely. A very deserving winner. So
agreed.
Congratulations. Make sure you go and vote on the new ones that will come out tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Yes. Tomorrow. Yep. And what that'll do is every entry, every vote that you do will put you one more entry into the draw for the ASUS Go wireless headset valued at $299, which works with the Switch. It's got USB Type-C at the bottom, so just shove that up your Switch, and you've got a wireless headset. So that's awesome.
Yeah, it's a very cool looking headset.
It's a $300 headset. That's an expensive quality headset.
Excellent. So it looks like we've got some people waiting to join us here from the Melbourne Maelstrom. We've got Goizord and Pit Viper.
And Pitty Witty.
Our little buddy.
Hey guys, congratulations Melbourne. You guys played absolutely awesome.
Thank you.
I want to the first question I want to ask is, you guys almost got stomped. It almost turned out to be a 5-0. So what changed in that 5th match where you knew everything was on the line? What did you do to come out on top?
5th match was Rainmaker...
Albacore.
Right, Albacore. Okay,
yeah.
So not gonna lie, all we said was like, what we always take it one game at a time, right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to let the pressure build up. So that was one thing. But we basically said, don't push right, because that's a terrible idea. And then we went, okay, we're going to try and push left. And then once they pulled out double CDSs, we kind of banged our heads against the wall there for a bit. And then, like in the span of 30 seconds, Log just said, okay, take middle bridge. I'm doing a burst bomb rush. We suppress them a little bit. And then we get lead in 3 seconds because there wasn't a good push. And then a knockout happens. And honestly, none of us knew what happened. Like maybe other people did, but I was just laughing. That match just like turned around in an instant. And I don't know what happened.
Yeah, we're watching it from our end. Sorry, Pip, what were you saying?
I was just going to say, like, after banging our head against left, we were a bit, okay, let's just stay alive and see what opportunity presents itself. And both of I think 2 of New Zealand's players pushed like the bottom of left.
Yes.
And then Lob called it out. And I was like, I've got run speed. I can just book it across middle bridge, and I've got Shock and Goy already set up there to cover me.
Yeah, that's right. The push was weighted heavily from that mid with Shock and Goy from an unconventional angle to begin with. And so I thought everyone was going to go left, but they won the fights on the right-hand side. They came almost from a flank. Great patience there, Pit, on waiting for that push to actually realise. And, you guys got the victory from that. And the rest kind of rolled out from that, so well done.
Yeah, and I think the other biggest thing is the map before. What what's the Rainmaker map before?
It was Anchovy. Yeah.
Anchovy? Yeah. They had lots of corners. They had lots, like, just Sploosh could just do its job.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So we were like, we'll do Albacore. Albacore will open it up a bit, and that should give us a chance to call them out, make sure they're not just going to shark with a hammer and get a triple.
Right.
Yep. How about that Splat Zones set there at the end?
Okay.
That was exhausting to watch. So I can imagine what it was like playing.
Well, basically, we got this game, the first set, completely served to us with double armor, and so we just kind of went to the drawing board and went, okay, comp-wise, advantages and disadvantages of double armor. Let's discuss this real quick. And the main ones was like, advantages is basically everything. We win every mid fight. You can't really challenge us. And the disadvantages was, well, Ness and Sloop can probably still pop the armor pretty easily, but it might depend. And so we just kind of railed with double armor for the games that mattered, because yeah.
Well, every game matters.
Every game does matter, but you're gonna have to put a splash shot to my head if you want me to play Moray Zone seriously.
Fair enough.
No, that's fine. And hey, Goy, you pick an unconventional sloshing machine, right? Point sensors and splat bomb rush. Walk us through why that out of all weapons.
So, I started experimenting with Machine Neo maybe a week or two before the series actually started, and it has its own sort of advantages and disadvantages versus all the other sloshes. I consider them to be one big family, the sloshes and the machines. The main advantages is that if you need a little more reconnaissance, the point sensors can end up being an easy way. Like we're dealing with a full-off heavy. We're dealing with inkjets from a Nautilus. Point sensors end up being a pretty vital tool to get a lot of assists here and there. Mm-hmm. And then obviously having a splat bomb rush just it gave us another sort of map control special, since before that we were kind of just dealing with rain, the occasional booyah bomb, and at most a burst bomb rush. So it was just another tool in the belt to make sure that if we needed to turn up the map control, that it was a suitable weapon. And its results have been somewhat middling so far, but I don't think it's because of the weapon.
Humbling, yeah, fair enough.
Cool. Well, I mean, amazing job from both of you and your team.
Thank you.
You guys are now the team to beat.
Yeah, top of the ladder.
2-0.
Target on your back.
To win 4 games. 4 games for top of the ladder.
That's right.
Honestly, yeah, it's incredible how that goes, and it turns out that the picks and the bans and the close matches all work together to get you guys on top of there. That's a great effort.
I think that was the biggest pressure of today's match, seeing like everyone else who won last week lose their match this week. We were a bit like, oh, are we going to follow the pattern, or
no, you write your own destiny.
I think the most pressure we faced is simply that New Zealand's team has a lot of strengths in its core. Right. Like you can see that in the tower control match. Oh, yeah. And realistically, they probably could have had splat zones. Like and they certainly could have had Rainmaker. Like the fact that we managed to turn around both of those two sets in a pretty clean fashion and just completely start the reversal there. A lot of that came down to very, very specifically trying to think about how exactly we can use a counterpicking system to just try and dismantle them. Like we had a lot of trouble with Sloop on TC Sturgeon. So we started looking at like, okay, well, if Sloop and Ness are the main things that we were really struggling against, how come we need to start focusing our efforts on the people that aren't those so we can isolate them? And we need to start picking maps that don't necessarily favor their stronger picks, which is why we picked Albacore and Rainmaker. And I think we actually picked Splat Zone's Humpback because we knew it was going to be pretty bad for Kit can pretty much just sit pretty much uncontested. And an enemy can't really do anything about that. So we ended up using all of the systems of this tournament to the best degree we could to get the best results we could.
Yeah, awesome. No, it's definitely shown like you guys are top of the ladder.
Yeah,
so,
and with how close all the games are, that strategy definitely has to come into play.
The 1%ers, for sure. Yeah. So congratulations, guys. Go run off with your high with the rest of your team. We're looking at you next week to make sure that you guys don't drop another game. Hopefully you guys can go 3-0. So what are you guys going to work on over the next week?
I think we'll look at who we've got next. I think, and we're probably trying to work around their strengths. Sai hasn't had a game yet, so I think we're going to work in incorporating her and how she's going to help us take out the next W.
Yeah, right. That sounds good. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Congratulations again. Go have fun, and we'll catch up with you guys next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
See ya.
All right, guys.
So that was Pit Viper and Goizord from the Melbourne Maelstrom. Our winners of the match today. Next week's matches. Let me see if I've got this right. Probably not. Brisbane Boom taking on New Zealand Rush on the Saturday night game, followed by a double header, Sydney and Perth and Adelaide and Melbourne.
Awesome.
So Adelaide and Melbourne could be a very exciting match there. Don't forget, on Tuesdays, we have the ATAR support analysis desk.
Yes.
With our good friend FLC.
Yep. Now, a quick point out: we're just reducing that schedule. We're picking out 6 games, 2 games from each set, and we're analysing them in depth. So every team is going to get one match on why they did good and one match on why they lost. Right, so everyone's going to grab something out of it. It's going to be really in depth. So we'll try that next Tuesday.
We'll go in depth on those. There might be some general themes that we discussed, but
right.
Yeah, as far as that in depth analysis, just a few games there, but I think they're going to be really helpful, and we'll see that FLC effect come into play next week, I'm sure. Also, Thursday night we've got Carry the Commissioners, where these two guys try and play Splatoon
while delivering questions.
Yes.
It doesn't work out well. Owsy and Murray hit us on 2100. We got to whoever our next team is got to beat that. The play of the week will be out on Monday for you guys to vote. I'll post that on Twitter. And so we've got a whole chock full of week, and we'll probably have an article or 2 pop out as well. So keep an eye on our Twitter, which is Firetail Events. We'll post everything there, and it should be good.
Yep. Excellent.
Great.
Just close it out. This was an insane couple of games, couple of matches of Splatoon.
Yeah.
I can't wait till next week.
Yeah, no, neither.
How good is this league?
It's going great. Enjoy your Sunday, guys, or Saturday, or wherever you're from. Have a great one, and we'll see you guys later.
See ya.
See ya.